Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today we have predictions for 4 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Milwaukee Bucks and Memphis Grizzlies. Halloween brings a high-stakes showdown as the Milwaukee Bucks take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Both squads have had their struggles early in the season, making this matchup critical. The Bucks, led by Giannis Antetokounmpo and the newly acquired Damian Lillard, are looking to bounce back after 3 tough losses to the Bulls, Celtics, and Nets. Milwaukee's been scoring well, averaging 114 points per game, but defensive lapses have allowed opponents to put up a concerning 119 points on them. For the Bucks, finding the balance between offense and defense is essential to turn things around. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies have had their own hurdles, dropping games to the Bulls and Nets, and facing yet another back-to-back grind after taking on the 76ers and Nets earlier this week. Memphis has allowed 121.6 points per game, struggling particularly with perimeter defense, where they're letting opponents shoot nearly 40% from three-point range. This makes them vulnerable to teams like the Bucks, who can attack inside and out, especially with Giannis and Lillard firing on all cylinders. The Bucks have been somewhat shaky from beyond the arc, shooting just 33.3%, and their free throw accuracy sits at 77.1%. Despite this, Giannis and Lillard have been relentless. Giannis is putting up 28.8 points and 11.8 rebounds per game, while Lillard is contributing 28 points and 6 assists. Milwaukee's offensive stats may look strong, but defensive gaps have held them back, and tonight they're looking to change that narrative. On the Grizzlies side, they're dealing with key injuries, including Desmond Bane and Marcus Smart, who are both questionable. Add in that Memphis hasn't fared well on the second game of back-to-backs, going 2-12 last season, and it's a rough setup against a rested Bucks team. The absence of Bane, who averages 21 points and 5.3 rebounds, could severely limit Memphis's offensive firepower. Historically, the Grizzlies have had the Bucks' number, winning their last 5 meetings. However, with a shorthanded lineup and a packed schedule, Memphis may find it tough to replicate that success this time around. Milwaukee has had time to regroup and possibly reintegrate Chris Middleton, adding an extra layer of depth and versatility. Given the circumstances, I expect Milwaukee to come out with high energy, focused on capitalizing on their rest advantage. Lillard and Giannis should lead the charge, with Lillard continuing his impressive scoring streak and Giannis dominating in the paint. Memphis will likely struggle to keep up, especially with their injuries and tight schedule. In my view, the Bucks are primed for a breakthrough tonight. They have the pieces and the determination to end their slump and grab a confidence-boosting win against a Grizzlies squad that's stretched thin. I'm calling it, Milwaukee takes this one in a hard-fought, much-needed victory. The second prediction for today is for a game between the Houston Rockets and Dallas Mavericks. Tonight we're set for a classic Texas showdown between the Houston Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks, 2 teams with something to prove early in the season. Houston has dialed up its defense, showing marked improvement from last year, but the challenge is steep. They'll be up against a Dallas squad with plenty of offensive firepower, especially at home. The big question is whether Houston's defensive gains will be enough to counter a Mavericks team that has long dominated this rivalry. The Rockets look re-energized on the defensive end. They've climbed up the defensive ranks, slashing opponent points from last season's 113.2 to a solid 107, showing a new commitment to stifling their rivals. Even so, they're still finding their footing offensively, scoring 106 or fewer in 3 of their 4 games. If they can get more consistent on that side of the ball, we might be seeing a different outcome in some of these close losses. Their defense, however, remains their backbone, currently ranking 6th in the league with just 108.6 points allowed per 100 possessions, a huge step forward from last season's issues. Offensively, Jalen Green has been the bright spot, putting up 28.8 points per game and nearly 5 triples each night. But he can't do it alone, especially with Houston's field goal percentage hovering at just 40.7%. Fred VanVleet, Alperen Sengun, and Jabari Smith Jr. are adding some balance, but they need more consistency to support Green's scoring efforts, especially on the road. Dallas, on the other hand, is rolling into this matchup with a 3-1 record and unbeaten at home. Luka Doncic remains the centerpiece, recently leading the Mavericks to a gritty 120-114 win over Minnesota with a standout performance in crunch time. With support from Kyrie Irving and the addition of Klay Thompson, the Mavs' offense is clicking, averaging 113 points on 43.6% shooting, including a solid 36.2% from deep. They're still leaning heavily on Luka, but the offense has found a nice balance that's keeping defenses on their toes. On the defensive side, though, Dallas has shown some cracks, letting opponents hit 44.2% of their shots and allowing 36.9% from beyond the arc. Yet, they've compensated with strong rebounding and versatile scoring options. Tonight, they'll be tested by Houston's revamped defense, but the home court advantage and Dallas's familiarity with Houston's style should give them an edge. Historically, the Mavs have controlled this matchup, winning 8 of the last 10 games against the Rockets and covering the spread in 6 of the last 7 home encounters. Last season, Dallas took both home games comfortably, including an 18-point win the last time Houston came to town. Houston hasn't had much luck at the American Airlines Center, with just 1 win in their last 7 trips. Given the trends, I'm leaning toward the Mavericks to cover the spread at home. They're simply more balanced and prepared, with offensive depth that Houston might struggle to match, especially on the road. Luka and the Mavs are coming off a strong victory against Minnesota, and I think they'll set the tone early, using their shooting edge and rebounding strength to pull away. For the points total, I'm eyeing the under here. Houston's slower pace and defensive improvements mean we might be in for a lower scoring affair. While Dallas can go off offensively, Houston's style could help keep the final score below the 227 mark, making the under a solid consideration.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The third prediction for today is for a game between the San Antonio Spurs and Utah Jazz. The San Antonio Spurs and the Utah Jazz are gearing up for a matchup that, while it may not feature 2 powerhouse teams, promises a lot of intrigue given each side's potential and pitfalls this season. The Spurs have been shaky on offense, managing just around 106 points per game, putting them among the league's lowest-scoring teams. They've struggled with fast breaks and scoring in the paint, keeping their offensive rhythm limited. However, they've been efficient from the free throw line, hitting over 80% of their attempts, though they don't get there often enough to make a big difference. Their game style leans toward a slow pace, which has helped control turnovers, but has limited their shot volume, something they can't afford given their scoring struggles. On the defensive end, the Spurs have been more impressive. They're allowing 110 points per game, placing them in the top third of the league in terms of defensive performance. This success comes largely from a tough paint defense, as they're allowing only around 23 points per game inside. Still, they've left themselves exposed from beyond the arc, ranking low in three-point defense. Against a Jazz team looking to capitalize on any weakness, San Antonio's rotations will have to be sharp to counter Utah's outside shooting. Utah, on the other hand, has struggled even more offensively, averaging only 102 points per game, the lowest in the league. The Jazz are nearly absent in paint scoring and rank poorly in shot efficiency. They've managed decent offensive rebounding but have had trouble controlling the ball, often committing turnovers that could fuel a fast-breaking Spurs team. If Utah doesn't clean up its possessions, San Antonio may capitalize on those mistakes. Defensively, Utah has been a sieve, giving up nearly 119 points per game, which places them near the bottom of the league. The Jazz allow close to 55 points per game in the paint, a glaring weakness compared to the Spurs' tight interior defense. While Utah's defense has avoided excessive fouls, they'll need to focus on boxing out and limiting second-chance points, an area where they've struggled significantly. For the Jazz, Lauri Markkanen's availability could be the deciding factor. Without him, their already challenged offense could take a big hit, especially in scoring reliability. The Jazz's field goal percentage is below 40%, showcasing just how tough this season's start has been. Looking at this game, I think the Spurs have a real opportunity. If Wembanyama is in action, his presence alone could tip the rebounding battle San Antonio's way and expose Utah's defensive holes. Unless Utah can turn around their paint defense and boost their scoring, I believe the Spurs not only stand a solid chance of competing, but also of covering the spread. Overall, I'm putting my confidence in San Antonio to take advantage of Utah's defensive lapses and come out on top in this matchup. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Clippers. Tonight I'm leaning toward the Suns to keep up their early season momentum against the Clippers. Phoenix has kicked off with a solid 3-1 start, showing their resilience and depth despite some injury setbacks. Their season began with an overtime thriller over these very Clippers, setting the tone. After a minor stumble against the Lakers on the road, they bounced back with back-to-back wins, including an impressive comeback victory over the Lakers on October 28th, rallying from an 18-point deficit to grab a 109-105 win. Devin Booker lit it up with 33 points, while Kevin Durant contributed 30, both key in pushing Phoenix over the edge. The Suns showcased a balanced attack, shooting 46% from the field, cashing in on 21 fast break points, and capitalizing on Lakers' mistakes with 20 points off turnovers. Statistically, Durant is leading the way, averaging 29 points per game. Tyus Jones has been a reliable playmaker with 6 assists per game, and Jusuf Nurkic is steady on the boards with 8.5 rebounds. Phoenix currently sits at 15th in league scoring with 113.8 points per game, supported by a solid shooting percentage, 47.7% from the field, and 38% from beyond the arc. Defensively, they've been holding opponents to 110.8 points, boasting a respectable 9th rank in field goal defense, though they're conceding a high rate from deep at 38%. The Suns have had a mixed record against the spread, sitting at 1-3 so far and winless as favorites, including 0-2 on the road. Bradley Beal's status remains up in the air due to an elbow issue, and Josh Okogie is sidelined, adding a challenge to their lineup rotation. On the Clippers' side, their start has been rocky, going 2-2. They dropped their opener in overtime to the Suns, but found a rhythm with road wins over Denver and Golden State. However, a late-game collapse led to a 106-105 loss to Portland on October 30th, a game where they shot 45.6% from the field and 36.1% from three, but struggled with 14 turnovers. Despite controlling the paint, 52 to 48 points, they couldn't close out due to key errors down the stretch. James Harden has been impactful, leading with 25 points and 11.7 assists per game. Ivica Zubac is a force on the glass, pulling down 14 rebounds a night, while they've kept opponents to 107.5 points per game, ranking 5th in defensive scoring. Their perimeter defense is a weak spot, allowing opponents to hit 38.3% from deep. Against the spread, LA has been strong, covering 3 of their 4 games and especially thriving as underdogs. With the Clippers coming off a game last night and facing injuries to key players like Kawhi Leonard and Mo Bamba, they're likely to face fatigue issues. Harden, Powell, and Jones Jr. all logged heavy minutes in Portland, which could affect their energy tonight. Given Phoenix's rested legs and their offensive rhythm with Booker and Durant leading the charge, I believe the Suns can cover the 4-point spread. The added rest could be a game changer, helping them outlast a Clippers squad facing fatigue and roster limitations. Tonight I'm backing Phoenix to handle business and cover that spread.